Istana Angin writes, how about Tom Cruise directing MI7?
Has he directed anything
I don't, does he
before?
want to direct?
He's the producer of all these Mission Impossibles. Well, anything he does nowadays, and he's a great producer.
Yeah.
I mean, he's always talked about getting value for the audience member. He wants to make sure the audience member gets everything, their money's worth on the screen. So I think he's a really good producer. I don't know if he has any interest in directing, and I don't know if he'd be actually good at it.
Who knows if he'd be good at it or not. I don't think he has any interest in it, though, for sure. I think that he's one of those guys, every time you hear him talk, though, he loves collaborating with great directors, and he obviously works really well with certain directors, and I think that he likes to pick his directors. So I think I haven't heard him express interest. I mean, he probably, if there's a movie that he was going to direct, I think a Mission Impossible will be one for him to attempt because he knows the franchise so well.
He knows the franchise so well, but those are hard movies to direct, man. There's a lot of moving pieces. There's a lot of huge action sequences, and maybe you want to leave that to the professionals who have done it before. Tom Cruise has directed in the past. He directed an episode of the TV hit series Fallen Angels in 1993.
Yeah,
so
hit series.
He's got a lot of experience in directing. But no, I mean, I think if he was going to direct, if anything, maybe if he was going to do an action film, maybe he would have directed, if this Jack Reacher does well, maybe he'll do the next Jack Reacher or something on a smaller scale. It just feels like Mission Impossible, man. They keep upping the stakes. If you're a first-time feature director, you do not want to be the guy in charge of making me, the actor starring in the movie, which is, by the way, the same person, hanging on the side of an airplane or climbing the tallest building in the world. That's too much pressure, even for Tom Cruise.
I think he would have done it already if he wanted to do it. I mean, is this one guy that would have done it probably 10, 15 years ago. It probably would have been him. But that's not saying that once he steps down from, because there's only so long his body's going to be able to do what he's doing. So, and he obviously loves action films, and he's got a definitely keen sense for it. So maybe we see him once he steps down. Maybe when he's 60 or 65, he says, let me try something out here. I never say never.
I got a great prop bet. Is how old is Tom Cruise going to be when he does his last Mission Impossible? Is it going to be? He's going to be 55. Is he going to be 60? Is he going to be 80? It's Tom Cruise. You do not bet against that guy.
Yeah. All right, Mama, what's next?
All right, this guy's citing The Hollywood Reporter, so the story seems pretty legit. And Zach Wood writes, any thoughts on Emily Blunt signed on to voice act in the My Little Pony movie?
Breaking news.
I love how you set it up like she just got cast in episode 9.
I know.
That's different.
Waiting for something huge.
That's different for Emily Blunt. I mean, that's interesting.
She's doing everything.
Yeah.
I thought you were going to say she was cast in Captain Marvel. I'm like,
kind of.
My Little
Pony.
It's a great way to sell that movie to bronies. And I'm not making fun of bronies.
Yeah,
I've been in Twitter battles with them
bronies.
before. They are a force to be reckoned with. But there's a group out there, it's adults and men, they like collecting My Little Ponies, which is totally fine with me. I'm cool with that. And if you put Emily Blunt voicing a My Little Pony movie, that's advertising that really gets that male demographic that you're looking for, too. So huge win for the bronies out there.
Anytime you add Emily Blunt to anything, then yes, it's a win. She's great. And I was just... the other day when we were talking about Mary Poppins, that's perfect casting. As a voice, you put her in for a voice on My Little Pony? Yeah, sure, why not? All right, what's next?
Movie Moses writes, when will Ultimate Schmodown begin?
Woohoo! The Ultimate Schmodown, we are looking for those of you who don't know what the Ultimate... It's actually the Schmodown movie trivia contest where it's going to be battles between some of your favorite movie personalities. We get celebrities in here, too, that are going to go head-to-head in movie knowledge as far as movie trivia goes. We're looking at the end of March. Yeah. We got some cool matches. Here are some of the matches that we've got confirmed so far. We've got John Campea going up against the Screen Junkies Movie Fights champion, Dan Murrell. That's going down. We got Chris Stuckman going up against Sam Levine, which I love.
From Freaks and Geeks? Yeah, dude's a beast.
John Schnepp challenged Finstock yesterday. That's going down. Clark Wolf versus Josh McCouga. Title match between Mark Riley and JTE. I think that, and then was the other ones. Those are the ones that I know.
That's right. And then when our live experience comes back, we also have the finals of the Ultimate Schmodown coming up, which is going to be Christian and I as Schmoes going up against the box office boys, Finstock and JTE. It's going to be an easy W for us. We're going to be holding the tag team belt. It's just a matter of who's going to be having the singles belt when we start getting these Schmodown matches weekly.
Dennis, I got a question for you. So who do you think is going to win between Campea and Dan Murrell?
Oh, I don't really know Dan Murrell that well, so I'm gonna root for John Campea.
Of course.
Oh, another one you forgot though: Scott Mance versus John
Mance versus
Rocco.
John Roca. That's a big
If
one
you guys
too.
haven't seen it, watch Friday's show, the outro with John Roca. He calls out Scott Mance, and it's pretty epic.
Yeah, if you guys haven't watched any of the stuff and you want to see any of those challenges, you should. And what match are you looking forward to? They're all going to go down. It's going to be very. Think of it as the UFC of movie trivia because that's what the show is going to look like. All right, what's next?
All right, vote for Sheev, right? Are you concerned when an actor is sending out tweets during filming? Any correlation with film quality?
Sending out tweets.
Wait, say
what do
that
you
again?
mean?
Like
I think-
tweeting during filming, you know,
Oh,
they're
yeah.
working on a movie and they're tweeting.
Not like during their scene. Like,
Like,
hang on,
yeah,
hang on,
like-
I got it.
Yeah.
I don't think it has any correlation at all, unless maybe they're someone who typically tweets a lot, and suddenly they're on a film that maybe they're not so proud of, and they don't want to tweet anymore. I don't
Yeah.
know.
I was going to say, I didn't see anybody from Gods of Egypt tweeting that they were
Yeah.
in that, but a lot of times I think it means they're excited about the project. You'll see somebody tweet something from Guardians of the Galaxy 2 or something. You know, you're not allowed to do too much from those high-profile blockbuster movies because there's always a shroud of secrecy. You don't want to give away any spoilers, but every time somebody sends a tweet, I think it's a very carefully crafted thing for the most part, where it's like, remember when Zack Snyder had that picture come out a couple days ago, and we're looking in the background like, oh, look at that costume, look at that costume. So usually they're pretty. It might even be the studio wanting to get something from the set out to entice fans and see what the public reaction is.
Yeah, they're designed. I mean, even look, I think there's one that came out from James Gunn today because Karen Gillian's coming back as well too. He retweeted that. There's certain times when they retweet. It's marketing. That's the age we live in with social media. All right, Ashley, what's next?
Mindset Entertainment writes, what's everyone's favorite song from a Disney movie? Mine is A Whole New World from Aladdin. Great choice, sir.
Good.
Don't you dare close your
Does
eyes.
Pixar count or Disney?
Pixar counts, I would say.
Then Randy Newman, you got a
Oh,
friend.
good call, good call.
What movie is that from? Is that Toy Story?
Toy
Oh, so if
Story.
you're counting Pixar, yeah.
Yeah,
I
if you're
thought-
counting Pixar.
Yeah. Oh my God. You know, the Beauty and the Beast, the Tale as Old as Time, which was done by Celine Dion too. It's God, that really gets the heartstrings. As a dude, I just want to say something cool, like the Jungle Book, you know, like the Bare Necessities, something like that. But my God, that Aladdin song is pretty damn special.
I'll go with Aladdin also if we're going to go Disney, and I'll say Never Had a Friend Like Me. Robin Williams crushes in that. And,
Yeah.
Oh.
Dennis?
Probably something from The Little Mermaid. All those Little Mermaid songs get stuck in my head every time I hear them.
Under the Sea.
Yeah.
All right, let's do three more.
All right, Nerdy Nick writes, do you guys think Hollywood will stop making comedy sequels to old movies? Zoolander 2 should be proof they don't work at all. Aw.
I don't think you really can say can Hollywood do it because it's a question is if the people involved, you know, whether it's Ben Stiller wanted to do it. I mean, he's wanted to do it for a while since the first one, and he was able to get money and financing behind it. Thought it was going to work, and it didn't. So I don't think it's a Hollywood question. I think it's a matter of who is making the movies behind how they do. A lot of the times, as far as old comedies go, Vacation didn't really work. Zoolander didn't work. I don't know what they're going to go back and visit. I mean, as far as
They've been
another
trying to
Bill,
do
Bill and
Revenge of the
Ted,
Nerds
they've
for
been
a
trying to
while.
bring
Yeah.
a third Bill and Ted. So see, a Bill and Ted for me, a third one, I'd still be interested in.
I would be interested in seeing that too. I'd be nervous. I'd be apprehensive, but I would be cautiously optimistic about it. But if you think Zoolander's old, you're going to hate Spaceballs, The Search for More Money. Yeah, look, the one comedy that I don't consider an old comedy, but the one that I would love to see a sequel to is Old School. I think there's so much material that you could put in there after what those guys accomplished, if you want to call it that. At the end of the first movie, you can take that in any direction you want. And Vince Vaughn, Will Ferrell, Luke Wilson, they're all still big names in Hollywood. Some of them could use a hit, but they all are still forces to be reckoned with. It'd be great to see them back in the frat house again.
I think Zoolander 2 is going to scare off studios from doing.
Think so?
Yeah, I mean, everyone, you know, it's a pretty big name, especially, you know, because it built over time, and even that did nothing at the box office. And you know, we haven't seen any good comedy sequels lately. I mean, the only one I can think of is 22 Jump Street.
Right now, it's based on a
And
movie
it-
that came out a couple of years ago.
Yeah, and that was at least timely. Where, like, you know, I actually didn't mind Dumb and Dumber 2, but it didn't do like super well. It did okay, but I just don't see how any studio is going to take a risk on any of these movies anymore.
They're dangerous, and it's not just because of how old it is. I think it's a matter of because it's very hard. We were talking about the other day. How many comedy sequels can you name that worked? How many can 6? 7?
Yeah.
Maybe out of all the movies made, you can maybe name 7. If you get lucky, you can hit 10.
I got Wayne's World 2. I got Naked Gun 2.5. If you want to count the
22
Monty
Jump
Python
Street.
movies, 22 Jump Street. And then it starts to really Hot Shots Part 2.
It's
It
hard.
Really starts to dry up fast. I mean, and you know the thing like Step Brothers, I think is ripe for maybe a return to that. Wedding Crashers, something like that. But even those movies were like 2003 was old school, and then we're getting into the late 2000s. So taking something a property as far back as the mid 90s and further, it's very, very risky.
I'm crossing my fingers for Neighbors 2. That looks like it's going to be funny. Hopefully it is.
Yeah.
We'll see. All right, Ashley, what's
All right,
next?
Dennis, this one's for you. Christopher Tate writes, question, Fallout movie potential. I hope that there is some.
I would love to see one. There's definitely potential. I think they're taking a wait and see approach towards like with Warcraft to see how that does in Assassin's Creed, because a Fallout movie is not going to be cheap. For all you have to change, like do so many visual effects, so many practical sets. It would cost so much money, and I know they probably have it in the plans, but I think they're waiting to see what happens with those movies.
That's going to be a very interesting weekend. You know how usually if a movie comes out and then like by Sunday it's already been greenlit for a sequel because it did well? The weekend Warcraft comes out, if it does well and gets reviewed positively, you're not only going to see that get a sequel, you're going to see Fallout get announced, you're going to see Halo get announced, you're going to see Mortal Kombat coming back in a new universe. So that's going to be a huge weekend for video game movies, hopefully.
I think you're 100% right. I think that's what it's going to come down to. Let's see how, with Warcraft and Assassin's Creed and all those movies do. And then everyone's talking about Fallout. Like I used to be a big gamer back in the day. I'm certainly not now. But you can't get away from everyone talking about Fallout. It's one of the most popular-
ripe for a movie.
Totally. That
Because if it just visually, story-wise, there's so much you can do with it. It's just that it's very, very expensive.
I want Uncharted first before we get anything. That's the movie that they've been talking about that movie for so long. That's the one game that I do play whenever there's a new one out. But I think that Nathan Drake is a character that is ready to be on screen. They've been trying. I think that one will be announced first after Assassin's Creed. If Assassin's Creed does hit and Warcraft does well, I think that's the first.
Yeah, because
because
that one probably won't. I mean, obviously it'll be a big budget movie, but it probably won't be as expensive as something like a Fallout or a Halo or something like that.
Right. All right. Last one.
Meat lover for life. That's what she said. What's your favorite 3+ hour movie?
Braveheart. Hands down.
Lawrence of Arabia Lawrence of Arabia. But I will say, when I watched Wolf of Wall Street,
it's good.
that 3 hours flew by. I was like, oh man, this movie's 3 hours. I don't know if I could sit here for that long, especially given what the story was. Just flew by like that.
Yeah, I'm with you on both those movies because Braveheart for me, the reason it's like same thing. I remember I didn't know what the hell the movie was when I saw it, and then I wanted more and more and more because you were just so brought into it.
I can't remember if the 10 Commandments is 3+ hours. It feels like it. It's a great movie,
It is
but
long.
I'm more modern times. I'm going to say JFK it might be 9 hours. I don't know how long the movie is, but it is so engaging and watchable. Is it 100% accurate? Do you get a little bit of crazy Oliver Stone in that? You're
little.
damn right
A
you
little.
do. The scene with
That's
Donald
the
Sutherland.
best part, though.
Yeah.
Watch Donald Sutherland talk to Kevin Costner about all the cover-ups when he's sitting on the park bench.
Yeah.
It is one of the most compelling scenes in the history of cinema.
Back and to the left. Back and to the left.
We forgot Lord of the Rings. Lord of the Rings.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Those are good.
Those are great. What are your favorite 3-hour movies, guys? Go ahead and comment again in the comment section.
Hey guys, if you like this clip, click here to watch the entire episode. Also, make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel because it'll help you stay up to date with all the stuff we've got going on here at Collider.